Welcome to Savor the Story podcast, where books and snacks are life. I'm Nicole.
And I am Vanessa.
Welcome.
Hello. Yay.
Welcome to another week of the podcast.
Correct. Sorry. I just threw my phone. I'm trying to figure out, I think this episode comes out the week of Thanksgiving. Well, It's the week before. We still have one more week before Thanksgiving. Sorry.
Right. Well, happy almost Thanksgiving.
Happy almost Thanksgiving. Yeah, we'll say it again next week.
Yes.
I got
if Thanksgiving is a thing that you sing.
Yes, a thing that you sing.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe you just don't care, like me. So I was watching, sorry, that reminded me. So my tradition every year when I put up my Christmas decorations, I put Friends on and I start with the first Thanksgiving episode and then I just let it play through while I'm putting up my stuff. Well, Chandler's Thanksgiving food, he doesn't like Thanksgiving. And his Thanksgiving food is grilled cheese and Funyuns. And since Tim is going to be out of town this year for Thanksgiving, I was thinking I should do Chandler's Thanksgiving.
Just grilled cheese and Funyuns?
Just grilled cheese and Funyuns. So
that sounds pretty good.
Yeah, just a random thought for you.
I accept this.
Thank you. It popped into my head because yesterday I started putting up Christmas stuff and watched that episode. So
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I know I've said it before, but I really enjoy green bean casserole. So I can do the grilled cheese and Funyuns, but I also would want green bean casserole there too.
All right. That's fair. Mm-hmm. I don't care about really anything. I really like mashed potatoes. So I could add that in, but otherwise I think I'd be all right with grilled cheese and Funyun for a Thanksgiving meal with Friends on and the puppies surrounding me. That'd be great.
Yeah, you should try it this year. Give it a try.
Great. Thank you. How was your week?
I don't know. Weird.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know. Not bad. It wasn't bad. It was just I feel like I didn't do anything.
All right.
I know a lot of it was pretty low key anyways because Remy was still on house arrest from his surgery. And then Mike had to go out of town for work the whole week. So it was just me and Remy trapped in the house for a week, and we're just staring at each other. And I don't watch TV, so it was just kind of so you would have thought I would have finished more books.
I was gonna say, do you have 12 books to talk about today?
No, but I did DNF for stop reading a couple, so I guess it's good that I had all that extra time because I did almost have, I think yesterday I was like, man, I'm about to only have one book to talk about. But
Vanessa would have thrown a party.
I know. I can't lose the bet so quickly. So
I know. We're not even close to 102 episodes.
I know. So I can't win. I can't lose that that quick. I mean, if it's 96 or something, I'm all right, whatever. Close enough. But no. So
that's funny.
Yeah. But yeah, it did end up, I think I only went to work one day this week. So, yep. So I saw you on that day and we got coffee fees.
Yes.
We also, I feel like that day was not a very big work day. So I'm glad I didn't miss it because it's I don't want to miss the days of work where I'm getting paid to just party. Right.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah. Showed up I had to make sure to show up that day.
Yeah.
So we had that chili cook-off at work, which I made 2 chilies, and I didn't win. I don't think I won. I don't know who won, but I don't think it was me.
Did they announce the winners? I don't remember seeing it.
I don't know. I asked a couple different people, and they were just meh. Okay.
All right.
Why do you not know if I won or not?
That's right.
You should know. It was super important, but not important enough for me to go.
Right. Well, I feel like everyone who ate your chili said that it was good. So,
right. And that's all I care about.
Yes.
Is like my immediate work acquaintance opinions.
That's right.
So
agreed.
Maybe next year I'll win.
Maybe next year. What a fun thing to strive for.
Right. I will win.
Yes.
I don't care.
No.
So yeah, there's that. And I guess I forgot, but it was Halloween.
It was Halloween
this past week, so we did hand out candy that night after work. I think we only got like 40 kids, which
that's not bad though.
Well, yeah. I mean, historically, years past, we've handed out a shit ton of candy. So the fact that like we only had 40 kids, there was a lot of candy left over. So, which leads me into my snack.
Oh no! Is it Halloween candy?
It is. I ate probably a whole bag of those mini Twix bars.
That's all I was eating out of our bag too.
Yes, it was delicious. I love Twix bars.
Those are so good. Do you want to know something weird? I eat my Twix bars really weird. So I eat all the chocolate around, like I nibble all the chocolate off around the outside of it, and then I eat the caramel off the top, and then I eat the cookie.
And then you eat it last. So it's just a plain ass cookie.
It's so good though. It just like melts in your mouth.
Okay. Isn't the cookie just like a graham cracker almost?
Yeah, I don't know. It just that's just how I've literally always eaten them. I used to get made fun of all the time in like middle school because I would eat them like that, and I don't know why. That's how I like them.
Yeah, whatever makes you happy.
Yes.
So
that's funny.
What would you do this week?
Oh man. So first piece of news. The Dodgers won the World Series this week.
Woot woot.
Woo!
I would be more happy for you if my team didn't get kicked out.
That's true. But I am happy with your team because you did kick out the Astros. So I'm very excited about that. So Dodgers won the World Series this week. So I watched a bunch of those games. I also started volleyball this week. So I had my first volleyball game and it was really fun. It was all the ladies were really nice. It was a fun time. I didn't massively hurt myself in any kind of way. So all positives.
Yeah.
So the only negative right now is that this week's game starts at 8:45 p.m. and that is already at my bedtime. So
yeah. So
here we go.
To self, Thursday you're gonna be grumpy AF.
Thursday I'm gonna be really sleepy.
Yes. Are you gonna try and come in at the same time, or are you already planning to come in late?
No, I'll come in at the same time.
I'll come in late for you.
Thank you.
Your late time. Your late makeup.
So there's that. And then the only last thing that's not like book related, because I have a couple book related things to tell you, is Tim ran the Louisville Marathon yesterday with our friend of the podcast, Grant.
Yay! Hi, Grant.
And Grant finished his first marathon, and
Yay.
Tim finished his 107.
700. Yeah.
And Tim PR'd by 1 minute, and I have to tell you that he PR'd, and I considered talking about the marathon, but then he told me he would not rate this episode 5 stars if I did not talk about how fast he was.
Huh. I'm starting to see a pattern with him.
Right?
Like everything is threatening.
It is. Yes.
Read the book now or else.
Exactly. So
talk about how fast I am or else.
Or else. Yes. So he ran really fast. Now give me my 5 stars.
How fast did he run?
So fast that you couldn't even see him.
Wow. I bet it was because he bought those new shoes.
It is. Do you know how many fucking times he told me how fast he runs because of his new shoes? In his training, I was like, get out of here. I don't care about those shoes.
Right.
So he did do very well, though. I think he ended up finishing in 3:44, 3 hours and 44 minutes or something. So yeah, so he did well and Grant did well, and I'm just very happy for everyone. So the end.
Yes. I'm waiting to see if Grant decides to run another marathon.
I know.
So, I know he said what did he say? He said he had to wait until his soreness went away to do it, but we'll see.
Well, he's been saying this whole time that he didn't want to do another one. And I, right after he finished, I texted him and I said, congratulations. That was a great first marathon time. Because I know there will be another one.
I know.
So yeah, that's all the things. And I did my obligation to get my 5 stars. So
please give us 5 stars.
Yes, thank you. But I do have, well, I'll tell you what my snack is first, and then I'll tell you the couple of book things that I had.
Okie dokie.
So my snack, I have a couple of options this week, one of them being Halloween candy. But I decided I'm going to go with Sweet Lauren's cookies. Have you seen those? They're like in the frozen section of the grocery store, but they're like it's cookie dough that you can eat raw if you wanted to. And it's the raspberry oatmeal flavor, but it's like
delicious.
It's so fucking good. They're so delicious, and it's all like organic. I was gonna say materials, but I mean ingredients. Organic ingredients. And it's like gluten-free and like all the things, right? If you're needing any of that. It does say you can eat it raw, but I usually put it in the oven for like I don't know, like 15 minutes or something, just to kind of give it like a more gooey, like cookie feel. Oh my god, they're so good.
That sounds delicious.
I would absolutely recommend them. Sweet Lauren's cookies in the oatmeal, the raspberry oatmeal flavor.
Yeah.
Oh, cranberry oatmeal? I think it might be cranberry oatmeal.
That sounds pretty holiday delicious too.
Yes, they're so good.
Yeah, me and Mike were gonna go grocery shopping after we recorded this episode, so I will be buying some.
Yes, you should absolutely look for them. We originally bought them because it's the kind that you can eat raw, so it was the kind that he could put into the creamy if he wanted.
Yeah, like ice cream.
Yeah, and so that's why we originally bought them, and then it just kind of sat in the fridge for a while, and I was like, I'm gonna just make them. We'll buy more if you want to, and I'm so happy I did that because oh my god. They're so good.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yes. So yeah, you should buy them.
Okay.
So that's my snack this week. And then my 2 like book things. One, when this episode comes out, I think it should be the 17th. In 2 days, Rebecca Yaros's new book called Variation comes out. Oh. I'm very excited about it. I will probably be reading it as soon as it comes out, so review coming soon. And then the other one is very random. Have you ever heard of the genre homantasy?
Homantasy?
Like home fantasy.
Oh.
Sorry.
I heard ho. And I was like, huh. I mean, I could see where we're going, but no, I have not heard of homantasy.
I hadn't either. I want to say I saw it on like one of the subscription boxes. Like in the description, it said something about homantasy. Fantasy. There we go. Apparently, it's fantasy books that feature a magical house, a haunted house, or some other extraordinary home.
Okay.
Which sounds kind of cool, but I just I saw it and I was like, are we just making up genres now?
Yes.
If you just put fantasy on the end of any word, somebody is going to be like, that's partly fantasy. I'll buy it.
Correct. Yes. So you have to have magic and something.
That's right. So
all my books, my next books will be all made up genres.
That's fair. It was funny because I had never seen it before and I was just like, what is this? Great. I'm just gonna from now on I'm just gonna start making up whatever I want it to be.
Well, I mean, if we're doing that, the first thing that came to my mind could also be a genre because at first I heard ho fantasy and I was like, hell yes. This is like some hoe on a fantasy quest.
Yes, but if you add in the M in there too, the ho fantasy, it's like a ho romance fantasy.
Dang, yes.
There's so many things.
So many possibilities.
Yeah. So that was all. I just wanted to ask if you had ever heard of these random ones. Yeah. So
welcome to a new phase of the podcast.
Right. I think I just remembered. It's so this coming weekend in recording time, not in posting time, Owl Crate is doing their like early Black Friday deals. And one of their mystery boxes is a home fantasy box. And I was like, what is that?
I must know.
Yeah, that's what it was. So I guess it's too late now if you're part of Owl Crate and you're listening to this episode. So I apologize. But if you bought it, maybe tell us.
Yeah.
And tell
us
I
want to know your thoughts on home fantasies.
That's right.
We have to home fantasies, whatever.
Exactly. We have to enunciate again. So that's that.
Nice.
Now I'm done.
Okay. Do you want to talk about your books?
I can go first if you would like.
Okay.
So I only read one. So let me tell you. So for all the reasons I already said, obviously I had volleyball. I watched the World Series all week. I handed out candy on Halloween, like all the things. Also, I'm going to be very honest with you right now. Last week was a very hard mental health week for me.
Oh, okay.
And it kind of was like, I don't want to read. I don't want to do anything. Whatever. So the fact that I got through one, I'm going to give myself points for. Okay?
Yes, that's fair.
Okay, thank you. So my one book was
Can I ask a question first?
Yeah.
Did the book help your like mental health journey, or did it hinder your mental health journey? Was it the cause of your mental health journey?
It was definitely not the cause.
Okay.
The cause is just life, mental things. No, did not hinder nor help, I will say.
So no impact.
No, no impact. It just kind of, it did help because I listened to it. So I was kind of able to like just sit and I like played a game on my phone while I was listening. And so it was kind of like a good way.
Like a reset.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
So, and I actually really liked it. So that was helpful. Yeah. Okay. So it was Sister Book Club. And it's called What Lies in the Woods by Kate Alice Marshall. And it's a thriller? What Sounds can like I make up? I was going to say it's a thrill-antasy. No.
Yes. The wood fantasy. That's
right. No, there's no fantasy in this one. But we could pretend. Yeah, so it's like a thrillery mystery.
Okay.
It was on Everand, and if you listen to it at 1 time speed, it's like 11 and a half hours. But I listened to it at 1.5.
Okay.
Just so you know. Okay, so it follows this girl named Naomi. She and her 2 best friends when they were 11, so they're like 30 now. So the story like today is like they're 30-ish years old.
Okay.
When they were 11, they were victims of somebody who they said were like was a serial killer.
Oh.
And two of the girls, Cass and Olivia, or Liv. I don't remember. I just remember the Liv part. They like hid. They were out in the woods and they like hid in the cave and watched as he stabbed Naomi.
Jesus.
I think it was like 27 times.
Ah.
And she ended up living, right? She ended up.
Holy shit.
Yeah, she made it out. So this guy, so she was 11. This guy, who was her best friend's brother's best friend. So,
okay. A friend of a friend of a friend or
exactly,
something?
yes. So they were like in their early 20s. He happened to find her in the woods and she was still alive and carried her out. And so then the only reason he's kind of important is because later on he kind of like still worries about her. He kind of has like this almost like a protective persona attached to her just because he like saved her when she was so young.
Yeah.
And so the story basically follows Naomi and she had left the town at some point in her life and she kind of comes back for they get news that the guy who attacked them died in prison. And so she like comes back to see her friends to like, they're just kind of having some emotions about this. Right. And some information from the very beginning, that there's things that they lied about. You just don't know what those lies are.
Okay.
And so later on, this podcaster comes into town who's doing like a true crime thing about this serial killer. And he's trying to like interview them and stuff like that. And Naomi kind of becomes friends with him. So there's some drama there. But I feel like that's kind of the most information I can give. It's hard. I feel like it's always hard to give information specifically about like thrillers and stuff because
mysteries.
Yeah, it's so it's not a whodunit. Obviously, we know all the things, but it's kind of like a what are you lying about? What are the details you're like hinting at and stuff like that. So both my sister and I rated this one 4.5.
Wow.
So so it gets 4.5 Sweet Lauren cookies.
Nice.
Okay, so I couldn't give it full 5 stars because there's two things that happen that both my sister and I agreed on. However, they're both spoilery. So I can't tell you what they are. However, I will put it in Goodreads.
Okay.
So as soon as this episode goes up, I will mark it spoilery and I'll put it in there. The 2 reasons why I can't give it 5 stars.
That's
so
fair.
That everyone can see it there.
Okay.
And yeah, I think that's it. But yeah, we both really liked it. The narrator was great. The book was great. It was well written. It kept me intrigued the whole time. I did guess one of the things that happens pretty early on, and it wasn't I just feel like I'm getting good at this because it wasn't for anything that happened in the story. It literally was just like a gut feeling. And I was like, I think this is going to happen. And then it ended up being bigger than what I thought. But, there was something that I did suspect and came true.
So you think you're ready to be like a private investigator after this?
I think so. I'm ready. I'm going to join the FBI.
Okay.
Okay, great. But that's my one.
Okay. Cool. Well, I'm glad you had a good book this week.
Yes, me too.
So let me tell you about my 2 books.
Okay.
I'm gonna start with the my least favorite book.
Okay.
But It's like another one of those. It's my least favorite book, but not because like the book was terrible. It's just my least favorite of the two.
It could just be because you had a really great experience with the second one. Okay.
Hint, hint, maybe. Keep listening.
Okay.
So the first book I read, or this actually I listened to it. It was an audiobook. It's called A History of the World in 12 Shipwrecks by David Gibbins.
Okay.
Obviously a history.
Yeah, you've been wanting to read a history.
Yes. So I got back a history book. I listened to it on Everand, and I have to say, two considerations before you enjoy this book.
Okay.
The first one is don't listen to it. Oh my goodness.
Okay.
The narration in this book was the worst narration I have heard in a book in like, recent history.
Really?
Definitely this year, but maybe ever. It was horrible.
Okay, tell me why it was so bad. What did they do?
It was like stilted. There was no speed that
that fixed it.
Yeah, like the guy I don't think really knew some of the words. Like the pronunciation was wrong on some stuff that like I was like, when I heard a couple of the words, I was like, do I not know what that word is? Like am I like, he said it so confidently that I was like, am I saying that word wrong?
Right.
And it was just like, it was stuff like that. I ended up listening to this book at 2 speed just to finish it, and it was still wildly terrible.
No, that's really unfortunate.
Right. So like I said, I listened to this on Everand. So I kind of went over to Audible and I looked up the book on Audible, and I think it might be the same publisher or the same whatever. So I think it's the same thing for both books. So yeah, first thing, if you are going to read this book, get the physical copy or, like an e-reader or something. Do not listen to this book.
Okay.
While I was doing that research, I saw probably half of the people who put like something in there, even on like Goodreads. Like a whole bunch of people were like, don't listen to this book. I DNF'd it because of the audio. So
that's really, really unfortunate.
Yeah.
That makes me really upset for the author.
Yes, because I mean, the book wasn't terrible. I mean, the book was good. I think the book was good. I enjoy that type of history. So like the second consideration kind of goes back to what I said. If you are considering to read this book, you kind of have to think about what you want to take from the book. Like if you're just thinking that this book, because it says like A History of the World in 12 Shipwrecks, if you think you're just going to hear like pirate stories for 11 hours, that's not what this book is.
Okay.
This book is an actual history book. They talk about a lot of the shipwrecks, but a lot of it is like just like telling you about people of the time. So it's not just the shipwrecks.
Okay.
Because like the name of the thing, it's a history of the world, not just the 12 shipwrecks, right? And I think a lot of people had a problem with that.
Okay.
So they also, I'm moving around a little bit. Usually I would just say my like what I like what the book's about and then think of all the things. So a lot of the people that said that they didn't like it ended in the first, I would say 30% of the book.
Okay.
And one of their problems with that is the book is written very technically. It's written like a textbook. They don't like the fact that there's not more history about the shipwreck itself. The first 3 or 4 shipwrecks that the author talks about are from like the Bronze Age, early Egypt, that time frame. So like, early Greece. There is, in those instances, there's little to no historical writing to support specific shipwrecks. So it does not, so like the first 3 or 4 shipwrecks doesn't have any story with, why did the ship sink? Why did all it has on there is like, this ship was carrying XYZ, and we can infer by looking at the cargo what life was like for these people in that time frame.
Well,
and
because that is the only information that is available in that time, right? Is the cargo that's on the ship of what's being shipped.
Correct.
They're not going to be you're not going to have the history of the people like you do in the later years. So it makes sense.
Yeah. Now, I will say there's a couple places where I think he wanders a bit because, like, he talks about, I found this specific artifact.
Okay.
And because David Gibbins is an archaeologist. He's also a diver. So he's gone down to a lot of these shipwrecks himself.
That's really cool.
And he talks about the shipwrecks that he visited and, his experiences doing archaeological quote unquote digs. But but yeah, he's like, in one instance he's talking about, I found this tool and I can infer from this tool that like all these different, but it's very narrow lane, right? So it's like about like eye surgeons or something. He's like, let me talk about eye surgeons for 20 minutes. And I was like, okay, David, let's move on. I don't want to hear about scooping out eyeballs. Like, I want to hear about like, more than just that. So, like I said, he uses the 12 shipwrecks to, the first 3 or 4 talk about the history of like people in a time frame. Then you get to more modern history, and he's talking about very specific documented shipwrecks, thing like the Queen Anne thing, a ship like the Terror, so. And he still talks a little bit about like what the rest of the world was like during the time of that shipwreck, but there's just more information available about more modern shipwrecks. So if you can get through the more quote unquote technical part or textbook style writing of the first 3 shipwrecks, the later ones are more history-ish, So I would say that this I wish he would have put more personal experience in there. Like,
especially because he has it, right? So
like some more of the, when he went down into, he dove all these. I'd like to hear more about that. I feel like this book is one that I'm going to have to like get as a physical copy and maybe read again, because like I was saying, I read or I listened at a really fast speed. So I know there's stuff that I missed. So I feel like this might be a book that I might have to revisit someday. But like I said, don't listen. The narration is absolutely terrible. But if you like documentary style history or textbook style history, it's a pretty good book, and it doesn't focus on just one history aspect, which I really enjoy in a book. At least a history book.
Does it split it like by shipwreck? Like, is it split almost like a chapter per? Okay, so if you had the physical book, you'd be able to like go and pinpoint which shipwreck you may want to re-listen to or read, basically.
Reevaluate. So like I said, I think that one's probably going to be a reread, not because I didn't finish it or anything like that, but just because I know I missed stuff. And the narration was just beyond terrible.
And also when it's that bad too, I can imagine you like tuning it out almost, and so like missing information in that way too. So
So so I gave that one about not factoring in the terrible narration. I gave it like 3-ish. Like 3-ish Twix bars. I probably would, like I said, if I end up rereading it, I will definitely re-rate it. So second book I read, The Last Blood Carver. It's by Vanessa Lee. I read it on my phone, so Kindle, and it is, I think it's technically a YA fantasy. And I have to tell you, this book was great.
Is there Is it a standalone?
No.
Ah, yes.
Yes. So it is a Vietnamese-inspired fantasy.
Okay.
It is book 1 of however many she writes. I don't know. I know that the second book is supposed to come out March. Let me look. I wrote it down. March 18th of 25. So I know it's supposed to come out soon. So I'm very excited. I think that will be a book that I read as soon as it comes out.
Ooh.
So yes, it was very good.
Love that for you.
Yes. So let me tell you about the book.
Okay, tell me.
So there's a girl. Her name is I apologize for butchering this. I think it's Nika.
Okay.
And she is what the book describes as a blood carver. And a blood carver is someone who basically she uses her sense of touch to, I'm going to use air quotes here, to see inside of people.
Okay.
So she can see basically anything and everything inside your body. So like some stuff, specific stuff they talk about is like, you know, if she touches you, she can like basically like walk through the entire body and investigate every single vein, your nerves. Like she can walk up the spine, you know, like she can walk through the body and like look at your whole physiology, right?
Great person to have around when you're having a problem or a medical issue.
Right. Correct. Yes. Yeah. And even as deep as like she can like sense the electrical impulses in the brain and like stuff like that. So like
Good
really
gracious.
Wildly intuitive if she touches you. Now, another thing she can do is like you were saying, it's great to, she would be a great person to have around if you had a problem.
Yeah.
She can also heal people.
Oh,
so
shit.
Like,
she's the perfect person to have around.
Right. Yeah. She can, if she touches you, she can heal your wounds.
Okay.
You know, if you got like a whatever, she can heal your wounds. She can like identify problems that you have and heal them.
Okay.
And also the inverse, she can literally end you.
So, with just touching you.
By just touching you. And like if she touches your exposed skin, she can literally be like, now you're dead. I've decided to kill you.
This girl sounds very like the most powerful being of all things.
Right. Correct.
Okay.
Now, because of that, being in her time in this fantasy world, which, you know, she being a blood carver is not a good thing because of that. Basically, people who are like her have been hunted down. You know,
because they have too much power.
Yeah, basically, like too much power. People are scared of that power. Also, they like make mention of like people will like alternative medicine, if you want to call it. Like there's like if you eat their heart, you'll gain their power, kind of shit.
Okay.
So she's very secretive about her ability, right? But she still has to make money, so she kind of like goes around as like an alternative, a holistic, you know, medical practitioner,
like
if you want to call it
a
that.
Freelance doctor.
Correct. Yes. So anyway, the book starts with her, they explain all this or whatever, but the book starts with her trying to like on call like at somebody's house, like trying to help this lady. And basically the husband calls this gang of people who hunt down blood carvers for exploitation, and she is caught. So,
okay, I have a quick question. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Does every blood carver have the same abilities as her? Like, are they all as strong as she is?
Well, she's the only one.
Oh.
So she's the only one that she knows of.
How do you have a gang of people who hunt blood carvers when there's only one out there?
Right. Well, she's the only one left, I should say.
Okay.
So like they assume there are more.
Okay.
And you know, I think there are probably still others out there. I don't want to give away too much of the book, but so basically they're looking for people like her, and there's fewer and fewer in number because I think she's the last generation.
Okay.
So like her mother and her grandmother were all blood carvers. And
it's
so
genetic.
So she's now like the last generation of like blood carvers, because like everybody else has basically been annihilated. And there's a backstory to that.
Okay. All right.
Which I'm not going to get into the backstory of that. So like I said, she's caught by this group of people who hunt blood carvers, and she's basically sold on like the black market.
Okay.
And she's bought by a family who wants her to heal someone who witnessed their father's murder.
Okay.
So this family, their father was murdered. They had a driver, and the driver lived through the murder, but like because there was also an attempt on that guy's life, but he's living still. So they buy her from the black market, and they bring her there, and they want her to heal him so he can tell them
who did it.
Who did it, right? So that's a big section of the book, is her trying to figure out how to heal this guy, because it's not something that she's very familiar with. So while she's doing that, she meets a gentleman. A gentleman. I cannot pronounce this guy's name.
What did you call him in your head?
Kokin.
Okay.
But it's spelled Kochin.
Okay. I could see how you got there. Yes.
Yes. So she meets him, and he is kind of, if you want to say, not quite enemies to lovers, but like he's interested in her and he helps her. But he's also trying to push her away and push her out of this like world of wealth that she's found herself in when she was, quote unquote, bought by this family.
Yeah.
So of course, no romance is perfect. And she finds out that, Kokin is probably not who he is. Not probably. He is not who he claims to be. And so the rest of the book is her dealing with difficult choices because of that.
Okay.
Because of her feelings towards him versus the feelings that she has towards the family, who's kind of almost become like a found family.
Okay.
In a way, or at least accepting of her in a world where everybody's been like, I have to turn you in, or I can't trust you.
Yeah.
So that kind of goes into the difficult choices that she has to make.
Yeah.
So that's all I'm going to tell you. So I'm going to tell everybody. But the book was great. It was wonderful. Like I said, book 2 comes out 18 March of 25. So read this one so you can get the next one.
Yes.
As a side note, I don't know if you've ever seen, if you haven't, go look at it. I think the book cover, the art is wonderful. It's beautiful.
Are you going to buy a shelf trophy?
I have one.
Oh, you have one. Okay.
I have one of the crate subscription ones. But I don't think it's as good as the original.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
I think the original art is better
than the special edition.
Than the special edition that I have. Yes.
Okay.
And if you go look at book 1, book 2 is better. I am so excited for book 2.
You're going to pre-order it?
Yes. The cover art is immaculate, fantastic, beautiful. I love it.
That's awesome.
I want to buy it now. So go and look at it. It's great. So like I said, I have no bad things to say about this book.
Excellent.
I love this book. If I really, 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 really have to dig for something, I would say that there was probably a few spots that I glazed over.
Okay.
When Nika is talking about blood carving, because it's a huge part of her life. She talks about it a lot.
Okay.
And like how it has like affected her and stuff like that. Not because of that. Like I understand that this girl has trauma because of this. But the reasons that I like skimmed over some of it is because I was like, I have to know what happens. I don't want to read any more about blood carving. I want to read it. I want to know what happens.
Yeah, that's I feel like that's a great reason. I don't think that's a knock against it. That's just like, I want to know other information. This is not the information I'm looking for.
Right. So I would say that's the only thing bad. And I don't even really consider it to be that bad.
No, it's not.
So because of that,
you better say 5 stars.
I feel like I should say 5 stars. But I feel like I have to go back and like re-look at other books because I enjoyed this book as much as I enjoyed other books, but I can't knock it down because I didn't have anything wrong with it. So I might have to go back and reevaluate some of my other books, but this one's a 5. So
5 Twix bars.
This book is 5 stars, and it's making me rethink some of my other books that I might have just knocked off to knock off. So that's how good it is. Highly recommend. Go out and get it. Read it. It's wonderful.
That's awesome. I'm like, I feel like this is your first 5 since we started recording.
Yes, it's definitely the first 5 since we started recording. It's the first 5 since we started doing all of our stuff in Instagram before we started the podcast. I would say I think it's my only 5 this year.
Really?
Yes. Like
unless you reevaluate some of your other ones.
Yeah, there's a couple that I'll probably reevaluate.
Okay.
But so up until this point, I've been saying like Circe is my favorite book this year. I think this one has beat out Circe.
Really?
100. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so happy for you.
Yeah. So, like I said, go read this book. It's great. Circe is still a great book.
Yeah.
But this book, I don't know if, like I said, right place, right time.
And your enjoyment level.
Yeah. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
At least if you don't want to read the book, at least go out and look at the cover.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely have to look at the covers because, yeah. Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah. So I think one of the reasons that I really liked the cover art, because like this is not a caveat. I will stick by my word.
Yeah.
It's a different style art than I'm used to seeing in other books. And that's, I think, one of the reasons that I liked it so much. Okay. And when you look at it, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, that's kind of a cool cover. But if you read the book, the cover's so much better.
Okay.
And if you read the first book, the second book's cover is double better, right?
Okay.
So, yes, I am super excited.
I don't know why you enjoying a book so much and giving it 5 stars gives me so much joy.
Because I've been so obstinate up until this point about giving 5 stars.
Maybe. I think maybe that is true, but I don't know why, but I just feel so much joy right now.
Good. I'm so happy. I hope you get a chance to read it. So.
Yes, I really, really want to now.
Yes, and I'm really excited to hear. Usually the thought of giving 5 stars kind of makes me like nervous that somebody else is going to read it and be like, meh, I don't know what you're talking about. But even if you read it and you were like, yeah, that's a completely average book, Nicole, like, I think I'm still okay with that. I would still be okay. I'd be like, all right, I recognize that book isn't for you, but it's still 5 stars.
Right.
So I maintain.
Okay, great. So, I love this for you.
So.
Yay.
Yes.
All right. Is that all your book stuff?
Yes, I think so.
Oh, did you want to talk about any of the ones that you put down?
I don't know. I started reading, I have to look at my bookshelf really quick. A Letter to the Luminous Deep. I started reading that one, and I don't know. That genre is one of my favorite, like, not genre, tropes. Sorry. Is one of my more favored tropes is the letter writing.
Right.
You know, like the romance through letter writing. And so this book is all letters. The whole story is told through letters.
Okay.
So I thought it would be down like, but I don't know. I think I got like 15% through, and I was just like, this is not grabbing anything. I I don't think I'm going to read it.
Okay.
I don't think I'm going to read it right now. I'll come back to it.
Okay.
I started a different book, and I'm really happy that I ended reading this book and I started the second book because I'm really enjoying this book so far.
Good.
And I'm excited to talk about it next week. So.
Yeah. Excellent.
Yes.
All right. Are you ready for our discussion then?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. What are your thoughts on series book covers that don't match?
Okay.
It bothers me.
That was easy. Yes, I agree.
Yeah, I would say so. I'm sorry. I'm going.
Go ahead.
I guess if I don't plan on buying them, I don't care. Obviously, like if I don't plan on having them on my shelf, but if they're on my shelf and like especially if there's more than two, they have to be the same. If it's just two next to each other, I feel like my requirement is lesser, basically. But like two or more, the books have to be the same height. They can't be like one super short and one tall. They should be in the same color scheme, maybe like complementary. I feel like I don't want it to be on my shelf if they don't complement each other in size and color.
Right. And you brought up like height, size, different color schemes. Agree with that stuff. I'd also say I would go a little bit further and say that I want the font to be the same.
Yeah.
And then also I'm not saying that the covers, even the covers, have to be an exact match or anything like that, but I also want the like if there's a publisher mark.
Yes, on the spine.
Yes, I don't want the publisher mark to be like bigger on one book than the other, or like
it should just be uniform. Just like uniform across the board. Yes, because I've seen some that are like that where it's like the publisher mark is like at the bottom, and then on the second book it's at the top, and then on the third book it's gone, and then like the writing is horizontal, and then sometimes the writing is vertical, and it's like no, make the shit uniform or else it's not going on my shelf. You're not getting my money.
Yeah, well, like I'm I guess pointing out, I know nobody can see me pointing, but I have a book series that I have yet to read. It's called The Bear and the Nightingale series. And the 3 books were gifted to me by my sister, but I'm looking at the publisher font right now. And in the first book, it's a big orange bubble.
Okay.
But the second ones, the bubbles are smaller, and the color inside the bubble is the background of the book.
Oh, okay. So it's like transparent.
Correct. So like, but the first one, they just did like a yellow circle, even though the book's not yellow, right? So like that kind of stuff. I'm like,
yeah,
just keep it uniform.
Yes. I hate that. And it sucks too, especially if you buy like a first edition or something, and then later when the next book comes out, they decided like they made a choice to change the design, and then they re-released the first one to make it look like that. Well, great. Now everybody with the first edition no longer looks like the rest of the series. So like think that shit through before you publish the first one, because now it's gonna have to be on all the rest of them.
Yeah, I wish they would at least, if you're gonna change something like that, at least finish everybody who bought the original, at least finish out for them, and then you can make a second one.
Yeah,
whatever, I don't care. Like people will probably buy the second one if it's better. I also do not like, and we talked about this probably in a previous episode when we were talking about people like the movie.
The tie-ins.
Like the movie tie-ins. Have you seen the ones where they the book starts with like the regular like books, but then if they tie in the movie later on, the second and third one or the third one may have a movie tie-in cover, and I'm like, sirs, ma'am, what the hell? Like, this goes back to what I was saying a minute ago.
Yeah.
Finish out what you did.
Right.
And then you can go back and make your movie tie-ins.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it definitely should. I do feel like this is a little bit of a, I don't want to say OCD, because it's not OCD level. Like, it's not, I'm not trying to like diagnose anything, obviously, but I feel like it does have some sort of like neurological thing where I'm sure some people look at it and they're like, I don't care, it's a book, it's on my shelf, whatever. But me, it's like my brain immediately focuses on that.
Yes.
If it's a series that's together, I'm like, well, that's different, and that's different, and that's different. So it's got to be some sort of thing for like neurological divergent people, basically.
Right.
Neurodivergent, that's the word.
Yes.
It's got to be, yeah. So that's
yeah. And I mean, like, some of these books, it's not enough for me to run out and buy another book,
right,
fix it or whatever. Like, especially like I said, the book series that my sister gifted me, she gave me the copies. I'm probably not gonna rebuy them, right? Unless I need shelf trophies. But like, yeah, I mean, if you're gonna, especially with like because I know most people buy hardcovers as shelf trophies.
Yeah,
like I have to suspect that publishers know that's a thing, right? And so if you're going through all the trouble of creating something that you know people are going to buy as a trophy, like don't
fuck with it.
Right, don't fuck with it. Like, make it beautiful.
Yes.
And make it like, yeah, consistently beautiful. That's what I want.
Yes. You know, something I've noticed recently is some smaller bookshops have been doing is they sell just the cover, like the dust cover replacements. And so I've noticed that for a lot of like the bigger known famous books, they'll do just, you can buy just the dust cover for whatever version you have. So like if you bought the UK version or the US version, like they know what size it should be based on that version. But then all your dust covers match. And so you don't have to at least buy, it's a little cheaper than going out and rebuying a book or whatever. You just throw the dust cover that matches across the board on top.
Yeah. I'm sure there's people out there who have made their own dust covers, and of course I think I know me and you have talked before about people who rebind their own books. So I mean,
there's lots of options for the creative people out there.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, I've seen some really, really pretty just like, I don't want to say normal people, but like individual people covers that they've created for the Divine Rivals series or duology. There's some really, really pretty ones that people have come up with, and I'm like, why can't I do that?
Right. Why can't I be creative like that?
Yeah, exactly.
Because I always watch the videos and I'm like, that doesn't look too hard.
Right.
And I think I could physically do the rebinding.
Yeah.
I just don't think I have the creativity.
Right.
To make the cover special in its own way.
Right.
So
agreed. All right. Well, everyone out there, you tell us. Are you as neurodivergent as we are when it comes to what the books look like on your shelf, or are you just like, whatever, I don't care? Go tell us. Tell us on Instagram. You know, Savor the Story Pod. You could also email us.
Yes, we have a website. You can go there.
You can at savorthestorypod.com and send us an email and send us all your thoughts and feelings and snack recommendations and all the things. And then you can also, but you should give us 5 stars.
Yes.
Give us 5 stars. Comment.
Go do it.
On your listening platform. All the things. Also, don't forget there's still time for you to tell us your new moon and eclipse thoughts, because the next bonus bites will be coming out very soon.
Very shortly.
So yes, tell us anything you want us to know about eclipse before we record that episode.
Yes, and, because I haven't started reading it yet.
That's right. Well, hopefully by the time this comes out, you have.
Oh, that's true.
But not in recording time.
Recording, Nicole has not started this yet.
All right, I think that's everything. So
yes,
thanks everybody.
Thanks everyone. Come back. But
please.
For now, get out of here.
Get out of here. I'm ready.
Okay. Welcome to Savor the Story podcast. I'm just joking. I was waiting.
Good gracious.
Very aggressive.
I wasn't ready. I lied.
I know, because you're used to me like dee 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 dee.
Yes.
So as soon as you said it, I was like, I'm gonna yell it.
Okay.
All right.
Now I'm ready. Even if you yell it.
Okay. I will do my internal countdown. Mental preparedness